Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Happiest Hour on Earth. It's been a little bit. We went on a family reunion last week, and then, 2 weeks ago. And then our son, when we came back, had a little stomach bug going on, so there was no way that we were going to be in our right minds after very tiring days to do an episode. So we're like, you know what? Save for the next week, and now we're here.
Yeah. It was an interesting week last week. It was pretty exhausting. So I was like, exhausting. We're gonna save the episode for next week.
Yeah, definitely. And so we're in a little best of series, and so we're kind of winding down with this series. But tonight we had to talk about the best, like, iconic snacks in the Disney parks. And so we also made some snacks, and I know it's been a while since we've made some snacks because we've been focusing on drinks a lot, obviously, because they're just so fun. But with that, I guess let's just go ahead and start the show.
All right, so we're so excited to be back chatting with you guys this week. And for the snack, we made something pretty fun. If you can't see super well, here's a better view of it. These are called the Chocolate-Hazelnut Lunchbox Tarts from Woody's Lunchbox in Hollywood Studios. So these were really fun to make, actually. They're kind of like Pop-Tarts, but just a little extra fun and like Disney flair to them. So we did make a reel for this, and it's going to be on our Instagram this week. So check that out. I already gave this a taste because I had to do it for the reel, but Chris hasn't tried it yet. So I've
been smelling it and just dying to try it. And so I'm finally excited that the time has come.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Give it a shot. Tell me your thoughts.
Cheers. Oh. Oh my gosh. That is so amazing.
Pretty good, right?
I love it.
So.
Oh yeah. Explain how you made this.
Yeah, I'll just chat about it. So I'm pretty sure, because we never had this in the park, but I believe the consistency of the tart itself would be more of like a pie crust. This is an actual puff pastry, so it's very like fluffy and puffed up. Which is delicious as well, but I think it maybe would be a little bit different if you had it in the park. Also, for the glaze on top, it's like a powdered sugar mixture with heavy cream, but there's also supposed to be some like maple flavor in there and bacon bits on top. So we weren't exactly sure because a few different sources had different ways of doing it. So what we did, and I think it turned out really well. So really I would just go with our way if you're going to try it yourself. But we made the heavy cream powdered sugar mixture, and then I just added maple syrup into that. And I did like...
The consistency is great.
Yeah. It didn't like change the way that it should be to be like a glaze on top. It was perfect. So I actually think it turned out really well. And then we just sprinkled some bacon bits on top.
We're both huge Nutella fans. And we've been into Disneyland Paris, and they have like Nutella crepes, which are so delicious. So the fact that there's this like Nutella Pop-Tart that you could get in Walt Disney World is just so amazing. And this is incredible. You killed this. I'm so impressed. I'm always impressed, but yeah, this is great.
Turned out really good, and they are fun to make. So you have to give it a try. It's so good. I will have to give it a shot in the park one day to see if we like got the flavors right and everything. But I think this is delicious and it's fun to make. So watch our reel. We'll have all the details for it, and you should definitely make this one yourself at home.
Yeah, that was amazing. I love that. I just want it weekly now, and I'll be happy.
And the recipe that we made left over, like 3 extra ones. So we're going to be probably having these over the next few days.
I told Emma, I was like, I don't think we need all of these, but I'm so glad we made all of them because they're so good.
I'm glad we did too.
Oh, amazing.
So good.
So we're going to first talk about just the all-time best Disney snacks. There's a lot of snacks that overlap between the parks, and we didn't want to like say one here and then also talk about it again. in another park. So these are snacks that you could pretty much find at all the parks. And these are just like the all-time best. They're not really like the niche snacks, but just the classics, pretty much.
Ones everyone knows, like the most popular.
Yeah. And the first one, this you could get Disneyland, Disney World at so many different carts around the park. So it's so easy to find. But the churro obviously is so many.
Number one on the list.
Yeah. You guys have had a churro, I'm sure. If you haven't, go to Disney Park this weekend and try it. I mean, you know what to expect, right? Cinnamon deliciousness.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that they were like a real, like it's like a Mexican dessert. And I didn't even know that because Disneyland made them so popular that I didn't realize that you could like actually get them at other places. But one quick tip about these churros is that Smart and Final, and I think maybe like one more retailer, actually sells the Tio Pepe churros that Disneyland uses in the park. So you could go there, grab some Tio Pepe churros, and make them at home. Just put them in the oven, and they're the exact same, and they're so delicious.
Oh my gosh, they're so good.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it on the show before. It's such a good tip to know that you can just like have Disneyland churros at home. It's great. They're so delicious.
Yeah.
Next up, obviously, we have the Dole Whip, a staple in Disney snacks. I mean, it's just, it doesn't get better. It's so refreshing on a hot day. It's tropical. It's just that pineapple soft serve goodness.
Yeah.
And I have to have it every time we're in the park.
Yeah. And then you could also get the Dole Whip floats. That is the classic, Dole Whip soft serve, but then with pineapple juice in it. Amazing. These can both be found in Adventureland, in Disneyland, and Magic Kingdom. But there's some other places within the parks that you could also get them.
Yeah,
so,
some of the best.
Next up is the turkey legs. So we don't get this often, but man, Disney turkey legs are so popular. You see people walking around with them. Every time you see like a Disney snack shirt, there's always a turkey leg in there. It is such a classic. We've gotten it. Like
they are delicious.
They're
they're so big and they're just kind of hard to eat. So it's not always like our go-to snack.
And then you're walking around with like just turkey like smell,
grease,
like right under your nose. Yeah, it does get everywhere.
But it's not something that I'm like I have to go get a turkey leg. I know for some people it is. It's a great snack, but still had to be on the list. And the smell, like I love
the smell is amazing.
Like when I walk by a turkey leg cart, I'm just like.
It's gonna follow someone who's eating one.
It's the best. Oh, yeah. But yeah, there's lots of great snacks in the parks.
Oh, for sure.
Next we have popcorn, which is it's not something that we get all the time. Just like with the turkey leg, just because for me, for some reason, it's just kind of like anything that I can have at home. Okay. You can have the churros at home as well. But there's something about
it's
snacks.
Easier to get the popcorn.
Yeah, it's popcorn you can get anywhere. It's just kind of like an at-home snack for me, I feel like. So it's not something that we get in the parks. But again, I think it's a very popular one in the park. So many
people get that popcorn and say it's better than
it probably is. Maybe we should just do it next time we're there and like watch it with a show. Because popcorn is always great with like a movie. It's really great with like Fantasmic or World of Color or something. Or the fireworks. It would be probably extra special and magical to have it.
Disclaimer, we have not had the popcorn at Disney. But also a fun thing, like everyone loves the popcorn buckets. They're just huge fans. But I've talked to people who've had the popcorn. There's so many other snacks I want to get, so I don't get the popcorn. But everyone's like, no, Disney popcorn is different. And so if you're a big popcorn fan, like grab that. I'm gonna let you get this. This is your snack.
Because for some reason, in my head, I was thinking, but this item is actually usually my show snack, and that's a pretzel. I'm a huge pretzel fan. I love Mickey pretzels so much. They've always just been a favorite snack ever since I became a Disney fan. I don't even remember what year it was at this point, but I was like 14. Since that first trip, Mickey pretzels have been my go-to snack. I just love them so much with that cheese dip.
They're so soft.
They are. And for some reason, it is always my nighttime show snack. Like
yeah.
every time we're like
warms you up inside.
Yes, we're just like waiting for one of the shows to start, whatever. Like, you know how you always like pile up in your spot and sit and wait for the show to start. I always go get a pretzel at that point. It's just like my thing. Yeah. I love those Mickey pretzels.
So we usually get pretzel with sea salt. But the other ones that are really good, we don't get them often. But the one, I think is it cream cheese?
There's a cream cheese
The cream cheese one is really
and
good too.
Is there like also a no? There's not like a jalapeno one, is there?
There might be somewhere, but
I don't know why I thought
like
that.
Every cart.
But yeah, the most popular ones are just the regular salted with like cheese or mustard and the cream cheese filled, which is like the more sweet, which I don't know if there's like a dip for that one.
I'm not sure.
Or if the cream cheese is just like it serves as the dip.
Yeah, it serves.
But
for sure.
Pretzels are the best. Just get yourself a Mickey pretzel.
They're so good. Another classic. We actually don't get this one as often. But I mean, it is such a classic, and you could actually get smaller versions of these at Target, I believe now. So it's the Mickey Premium ice cream bar. I think I used to get a lot of these when I was younger. My family always loved these and the frozen bananas. Yeah, you get that at those like little ice cream carts everywhere.
Yeah.
As I've gotten older, like I don't want to deal with the melting ice cream as I walk around, so I usually go for like a snack that won't be as much as that. But yeah, these ice cream bars are so classic. You've obviously seen them covered in chocolate and a Mickey head. Incredible. So good. So
good. And yeah, if you just want to have it at home, Target.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The best. A favorite of ours again for sure. Corn dogs. These can be found in both Disneyland and California Adventure and all over Disney World as well. But we always love to get them from Corn Dog Castle in California Adventure.
Yeah.
Corn dogs are just like a staple in any given Disney trip of ours. Like, I don't know if we've ever missed a corn dog.
Oh, yeah. No, every trip it's like.
This last time we didn't do Corn Dog Castle, though. We got them at the Red Wagon, which I think a lot of people do get them from there, which is in Disneyland. But yeah, they taste pretty much the same. They're pretty much the same. I think it's the same.
Great batter. Yeah. So good. The cool thing about Corn Dog Castle is if you are into some spice, you get a hot link corn dog at Corn Dog Castle, which is really, really good. Next up, one thing that we love, and I believe they're at Disney World as well, but whenever we're at Disneyland, which is our home park, we love getting at the fruit stands a Disney pickle, oh my gosh, and a Disney pineapple. So good. What we usually do, she will get one and I'll get the other. And so we have like, usually like half pickle, half pineapple, then we'll swap so we both get a little bit of sweet and savory.
Yeah.
And the fruit at Disney is so good for some reason. I was going
to say, like, those are the picks that we always make. We just love pickles and pineapples.
Grapes.
But there's grapes, there's apples, there's oranges. Like, they have such good fresh fruit at those stands. So if you just like need something healthy and like refreshing and like on a hot day, those are a great place to go for some fresh fruit.
Oh, yeah. So good.
And last on the like most popular, most well-known favorites, we have the gray stuff, which is found at Red Rose Tavern in Disneyland. And this stuff is delicious. We actually did make it on the show one time. I think it turned out pretty accurate. Really good. But it's kind of like a whip. Like, I mean, it's like a cookies and cream whip, and they have it served on like a sugar cookie with some pearls. And it is super, super delicious. So that's kind of just a staple because, I mean, Beauty and the Beast, like, you can't not know about the gray stuff.
It's crazy that you could try it. And actually at Disney World in Magic Kingdom, you could get this at Be Our Guest. I think over there it's actually on a cupcake instead of a cookie like it is here. But you got to try the gray stuff, obviously.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it's so good. So as we move on, that completes like our list of snacks that could be found at both parks. At Disneyland, which is our home park, we wanted to start with more Reese's Treats. And these are not in any particular order, just kind of jumbled together.
know if anyone else heard it the way that I just did, but I just want to clarify. He said Maurice's treats. I thought I heard like more Reese's, like
Oh, at yeah,
I don't
you're a
know,
big
it sounded
Reese's fan.
like Reese's chocolate. Sorry,
More Reese's.
maybe everybody heard it the way it was supposed to be, but I just heard Reese's. But Maurice.
Maurice,
Like Belle's
Beauty
dad.
and the Beast, Belle's dad. Yeah. So at Maurice's Treats, there is something that we loved to get there was the chocolate twist, which was really good because it was different than the churro, but kind of had a similar feel. But now I don't actually see that on the menu. So they do have
Took it away.
I know. It
was so good.
Take it away. It's
Oh
like,
my
come on.
gosh, it was so delicious. I don't know why they took that one. I don't know how it couldn't have been popular enough to keep.
I know.
But I do think that we've gotten this one before.
This is really good. It's the cheddar garlic twist. Really, really tasty. This is a nice, like, savory to-go snack. Just if you want something savory and you just want to walk around the park, get to your next ride. A great place to get this. This is in Fantasy Fair in Disneyland. But also, while you're there, we're not going to be talking a lot about drinks. We did last episode talk a lot about, like, the best, vibiest bars.
And we
at
talked
Disney.
mostly about alcohol, which means we missed this one, so we have to say it here because it is such a good non-alcoholic drink.
True.
And it's the Boysen Apple Freeze. I'm sorry.
The Boysen Apple Freeze. Yeah, it's amazing.
So freaking good.
Super refreshing.
It's like an apple, like blended, just like slushy.
Slushy, yeah.
But with boysenberry like syrup on top, I think.
Or like mixed in. It used to come with a night
with a passion fruit whip on top.
Now it's just regular whipped cream, I think, which sucks. But
they also shouldn't have changed that. But
I know.
Either way, it's still so good and so refreshing.
So
you have
tasty.
to get that if you go to Maurice's.
Yeah, definitely.
But next up on the list, we have Bengal Barbecue. This is a favorite spot of ours to get a snack. We always get the Chieftain skewers, right?
Chieftain chicken skewers.
Chieftain chicken skewers.
They're very small.
Yeah.
Very small,
it's
but
a
a
good
snack
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't think that it's enough to be considered like a meal. So it's a good just like hold you over till your next meal.
I think
type
one
thing.
of the tastiest like savory snacks.
It
Because
really
honestly,
is.
it is so well done.
It is delicious.
good.
And he was just telling me, which I didn't even know, but apparently you can now get it more as a meal. Oops.
Yeah.
I just do that lately.
Expensive as a meal, but you
It's
can
more
get it,
as
yeah.
a meal, but you can get it with like rice and stuff apparently as well. But if
Yeah.
you just need like a good snack to hold you over, the Chieftain chicken skewers are bomb from Bengal Barbecue.
And then we've also made the safari skewers, which is bacon wrapped asparagus. There's also the banyan beef skewers, and then I think one other one that has a little bit more of a spice kick to it. But we always get the Chieftain chicken skewers and the safari skewers.
So good.
They're so delicious. And then that Bengal rice plate is like $17.99, crazy. But the meat is just so tender and so delicious that the sauce is so good.
It's so good.
And the meat is like tastes really, really fresh and nice.
Yeah.
But moving on, actually right around there, Tropical Hideaway, this is where you could find, and I'm so glad they kind of made this place because before there was
love
just
it.
the Dole Whip stand and now there's a whole like little quick service restaurant that you could go. But the Dole Whips here, obviously amazing. They have the original pineapple, but for a while they had the pineapple and raspberry swirl that we used to love.
That was my new favorite.
Yeah, it was so good. Right now, during summer of 2022, it looks like on the site they have a watermelon and mango. So if you're into that, you could go. So I guess they kind of switch out the flavors a little bit, but for a while
Those
it
sound
was
really
pineapple and raspberry.
Yeah.
Like for a very long time. So I always just assumed that was like a staple there.
I thought so too. I didn't know that they were going to switch them out. And I loved that one. Maybe they'll bring it back.
Yeah.
But those ones sound really good too.
Yeah, I'd be so down.
I totally want to try one of those.
Another thing you could find at the Tropical Hideaway, they have some bao buns. So they have like a lime chicken, a loco moco, which I'm super into the loco moco. So
didn't know
that's a
they had
bao
that.
bun of loco moco, amazing. And then a spiced veggie. And then they also have lumpia there. So there's a traditional pork, and then there's a sweet lumpia that has banana, jackfruit, and caramel drizzle. So
good.
yeah, you could get a lot of stuff there, and that's why I love this place because it's not just the Dole Whips. Like they expanded to do the
Yeah.
bao buns and the lumpia, which
So
we've had
good.
the bao buns. I don't think we've had the lumpia here.
I don't think we have,
But,
but it's
Cool place, cool
it is
vibe.
so
Oh, I
cool.
love
It's such a fun vibe, and you get to watch like Jungle
Jungle
Cruise
Cruise
going
goes,
by, and
yeah.
it's just so fun and tropical. And like the snacks are great. It's like I love that it's snack size portions.
Yeah.
Like it's specifically made just for snacks.
It's like a middle of the day, kick up your feet for just a few minutes.
If you can find
relax,
a seat.
yeah, exactly. Refuel and then just head on your way. It's awesome. I love it.
It's great. I love it so much. Next up is the Mint Julep Bar, which is in New Orleans Square. And that has the iconic Mickey beignets.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like this probably should have been on the all-time favorites. I feel like everyone knows the Mickey beignets.
Yeah, and you can get the beignets in Disney World. There are certain times where I remember they took them away for a little bit, and
Really?
you had to go to Port Orleans French Quarter.
Oh,
so you
yeah.
actually had to go to a resort, and then they weren't like in the parks, I believe, for a while. So that's why I just kind of added down here.
Makes
but you
sense.
can get beignets at Walt Disney World as well.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
They're classic and delicious. If you've never had a beignet before, it's a French donut. It's basically just fried dough with powdered sugar on top. And they're just delicious.
They're really good.
And extra delicious because they're in the shape of Mickey. So
Yeah, definitely. Next up, we're going over to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. We have the Ronto wrap from Ronto Roasters. And this is like I think kind of the staple of snacks in Galaxy's Edge, besides obviously the blue milk. But we're mainly talking about food here. The Ronto wrap is really, really good. It's wrapped in a pita, and it comes with like roasted pork, like a sliced pork on top, a pork sausage, peppercorn sauce, and a tangy slaw. And yeah, it just kind of feels Star Warsy, even though it's just kind of it's like a hot
Somehow
dog wrapped
it
in
does.
a pita.
I don't know
and whatever.
why.
But it is really, really good. I love getting a Ronto wrap
so
here.
interesting. Like I'm so
It is
curious
very
who came
interesting.
up with the recipe. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I've just never really seen anything like that. It's good. It's just not like a common thing. Like pita
Like, it
bread with sausage and
like
slaw.
sweet slaw, yeah.
It's just interesting, but everybody loves it. It's
I love the
such
Ronto
a
wraps.
such
And there's a
favorite.
breakfast Ronto
I've
wrap.
heard that is delicious.
And I haven't
too.
tried it, but yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's supposed to be great.
Ooh, let's
But
get
that
it.
moves us on to California Adventure, which has some great snacks.
Oh, yeah.
First up on the list is a huge favorite of mine in this park, and that is the bacon mac and cheese cone from Cozy Cone number 3. Oh my gosh, it is so good. We did make this on the show a long time ago, actually. It was like
so
when we had first started, and it's really fun to make. A little tricky, it takes some time, but it is so delicious. Definitely a favorite in the park. It's literally just bread in the shape of a cone with mac and cheese and bacon bits on top.
So amazing.
It doesn't really get better than that. Very, very carby, but very worth it.
Hits the spot when you're walking.
and you
in the
know
parks.
you're walking around, you're walking it off
burning
when you're in the
those
park.
calories.
Like you're
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
work it off. It's fine.
Oh, definitely.
They have a lot of other things at that Cozy Cone as well, though. There's lots of great cheese options. There's the chili con queso, which is chili, cheddar cheese, and corn chips, which I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever gotten
For the
before,
corn
but
chips, yeah, I think they're kind of like what's it called? Fritos, right?
yeah, that
are
would
kind
be
there,
the
which would
corn
be
chips.
amazing.
Yeah. And they have lots of great items at those Cozy Cones, but
Yeah,
Bacon Mac is
Good spot.
the best.
for sure. So the next up, there is Jack Jack Cookie Num Num. I feel so weird saying that, but the Cookie
Sounds
Num
so
Num.
funny.
Right outside of Incredicoaster, you could get this cookie num num at in Hollywood Studios as well. So, but from what I've heard, we haven't actually gotten it, but it is a deep chocolate chip cookie that you get there. There's a couple of different options, but the chocolate chip cookie is the one that people usually get. And from what I've heard, you bite into it, and it just forces you to say
Num
num
num.
num. Yeah, it's. I mean, everyone loves it. So one thing I did hear in the Incredicoaster, Mr. Incredible's trying to entice Jack Jack to, get the cookie. Apparently and I guess maybe I've smelled it, but I just didn't really think about it. They do pump the smell of the cookie in the ride so that once you get off the ride, you're like, oh, cookie num num? Oh, I should probably get a num num.
Cookies.
Yeah. Oh my God. I hate saying that word, but if you want to get your num num on, go Jack Cookie Num Num. Okay. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's something we haven't done, and I do want to go because I feel like those cookies must be pretty dang good, right?
Yeah.
And maybe we could try and make them at some point. I feel like I could probably make a decent num num cookie.
We could numb it up. Yeah, it'll be good.
Okay, next up we have Pim's Test Kitchen, which is an Avengers campus in California Adventure, as many of you probably know. We actually have not gotten food here yet. We've only gotten drinks, but there are some very popular food items at Pim's Test Kitchen. One of which is the Quantum Pretzel with beer cheese sauce, which is like this gigantic pretzel. Everything in this place is like strangely shaped, if you didn't know that already. There's like a chicken sandwich that's like a giant piece of fried chicken and like tiny buns.
It's like the healthy way to eat a chicken sandwich. Like
except for the fried part.
Bit of bread. Yeah, and then fry it up on the chicken. Yeah,
but yes, so there's the pretzel, there's the Choco Smash candy bar. There's plenty of options at Pim's, but I think that pretzel is one of the faves for sure.
And a lot of people talk about the Choco Smash candy bar because it is, like you said, everything's so weirdly sized. And this thing is like a huge old candy bar, like that is gourmetly made.
I don't think that's a word,
but it's like this huge thing that people usually split between people. But it like almost has layers of multiple different candy bars, like Three Musketeers, Snickers, and like a brownie thing, all in one candy bar. Sounds this huge old thing. And so I do want to get that the next time we go, but also I don't want to be like slowed down at a Disney park. I feel like I would just want to eat that and then just be like
candy.
Maybe it'll give me the opposite effect. Like the sugar would just ramp me up.
You'll get that sugar high and then crash though, which would be fun. Yeah, gotta be aware.
Really cool place though, but also in Avengers Campus, we have the Shawarma Palace. And this is really cool because, I mean, shawarma at a Disney park. I mean, I think this is the only shawarma place at Disney Park. Mm-hmm. I might be wrong, but I believe it is. So you could get this New York's Tastiest Wrap. This is a chicken shawarma with garlic spread, yogurt tahini. I've heard a lot of people really love this place.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Within the community, the Disney community, a lot of people love getting a snack here. There is a breakfast, like a vegetarian breakfast shawarma that you could get, and there's not too many places in California Adventure that serve breakfast, so this is a place that does. There's also an Impossible falafel shawarma that you get here too, so a good vegetarian option if you're looking for that. But we have one more in California Adventure, and can you tell us what it is?
Yes, I can. This is one of my favorite places. Lamplight Lounge, found on Pixar Pier in California Adventure, is amazing. If you haven't been there, try to get yourself a reservation. But one of the ultimate favorite snacks kind of is just a meal. I've gotten it as a meal before because it's huge, but it is technically like on the appetizer list, I think. So it's the lobster nachos, and they are so good. If you've never had them, give them a shot. I like seafood stuff. He's not a huge fan of seafood, but he has tried these before and he likes them because they're just that good. So
I wasn't too overly sea-y. I was going to say fishy, but they're definitely not fish.
Lobster doesn't really count as a fish, but they're delicious. There's like so much on the nachos. It's a good, healthy portion of nachos. So you can split them if you want. It's a good appetizer, but it's great as a meal as well. So definitely recommend those. So good.
So now that we are done with Disneyland Park, we're going to head over to Disney World. And we're actually going to start with a place that is just known for a lot of different food and drinks.
Chock full with food and drinks.
So much here. Unfortunately, we didn't have too many of these snacks because we were very devoted to
The
drinking
drink
around the
portion.
world. Yes. But we also went when it was Food and Wine Festival. So we tried a lot of the smaller kiosks that, had there was like a Hawaiian place.
Yeah.
And like so many other different kiosks from countries and all that stuff. So we wanted to try a lot of that because we know that we could go to the other countries, the other pavilions anytime. So a lot of these that we are talking about, we actually haven't had because we did have a lot of the drinks and the smaller kiosks. But first we're going to start with refreshment port in Canada. The poutine here, we've heard lots of good things about this. If you don't know what poutine is, it's a traditional Canadian dish. You take French fries, you add some beef gravy on that, and then you add some cheese curds. So French fries, healthy. Beef gravy and cheese curds, make it
Totally healthy.
even more healthy. But it is really, really good. I've had poutine before, just not at Epcot, but a lot of people do love the poutine from Refreshment Port. So
sounds
definitely
really good.
gotta try it and indulge yourself in Canadian cuisine.
Yes. That sounds delicious. The next up on the list is from Norway at the Kringle Bakery. Kringla Bakery, my bad.
Kringla.
Yeah. And so the favorite that we've heard from in Norway is the school bread, which is basically, I guess, this like springy type of bread. I don't know how it's springy, but
It's like,
it bounces apparently.
it's like soft, fluffy.
And it's filled with custard and has a coconut topping. So apparently this is very popular in Norway in real life in the country of Norway. So it is a favorite from the pavilion as well. So we did not try this one. It sounds like a fun time.
Yeah,
but
I've heard some people are kind of divided over the snack because some people just don't like coconut and then other people just aren't like accustomed to the texture of custard. But a lot of people say you got to try this because it is such a traditional snack in Norway. So, definitely one to check out. Next up, we're going to go with Canada again. Wow, I love
another Canada. Wow.
Yeah, so this is at the popcorn cart that's there. There's a maple popcorn that we've heard is just so amazing. And it's like a pretty decent size. I heard that it's like kind of shareable with everyone. But yeah, maple popcorn, I haven't tried it. Never had maple popcorn at the movie theater near us. But apparently, I don't know if that's like a thing in Canada, but either way, a lot of people have been talking about it. And so, get the maple popcorn.
I would be down.
I would be down
for
too.
sure give that a try.
For sure.
Okay, now I get to try to pronounce this next one. It's from France, and it is the L'artisan de glaces.
That was pretty good.
Or something like that.
That was really good.
And the snack is also an interesting one to pronounce. Croquet glacé.
The croque glace. I don't know.
Close
I don't
enough.
know. Yeah, it was good.
Glace. Anyways, it's a ice cream. Basically, it's like an ice cream sandwich, but with like brioche buns as the sandwich portion, the bread portion.
Yeah.
Sounds delicious. Also one we haven't tried, but oh my gosh.
We had
like, how does it
brioche
get better?
in real Italy,
True.
which was amazing. So a brioche ice cream sandwich. I mean, that sounds
Gotta be good.
way too good.
And we did see pictures of it. We looked it up and it looks bomb.
It looks so good.
So
next up at the Yorkshire County Fish Shop in the UK Pavilion, the fish and chips. We've heard such great things about it. We were only in Epcot one day. We didn't get to eat everything imaginable, but a lot of people have said these fish and chips are incredible and you got to go for them.
sounds great.
That
I
sounds
love
like a
fish
great
and
snack.
chips.
Yeah.
I would definitely go for it. Next is the Choza de Margarita. Or that is the restaurant that is in the Mexico Pavilion. And the elote is apparently really great here. Also one that we haven't tried. I don't know that we've tried any from this list actually.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'm
sorry, guys.
We tried all the drinks from all the pavilions.
Yeah, we have. But apparently this is a favorite from the Mexico Pavilion.
And then last up in Epcot, we have pretty much anything from La Halles. I don't know how to pronounce it. La Halles from France. The boulangerie in France. I heard these pastries and all these baked goods are just incredible there. So go in, find something that looks delicious, and just go for it because it is just going to be amazing if you find it at La Halles.
It's true.
Yeah.
And we have both heard from different sources that getting into Epcot early in the morning and going to the French Pavilion for breakfast is an amazing experience. So we didn't do this when we were there, unfortunately, but I would love to do that because I've heard it's magical.
Yeah, definitely.
So moving on from Epcot now, we're moving into Hollywood Studios for our next snacks. And the first up on the list is from Woody's Lunchbox, and it's the snack that we just ate on the show.
And I can vouch for that because we've had it now.
It's a great
that
one.
Was so good.
So there is the chocolate-hazelnut tart that we made, and it is delicious. And they also have... we almost made the other one that you didn't actually write on the list, but it's like a blueberry lemon tart. Mm-hmm. That one also looks delicious, and I guess there's a raspberry one now as well. So these are kind of just Pop-Tarts, but like I think maybe they're bigger there than they're like. I don't know. From the pictures I've seen, they look pretty big, but they're delicious regardless. It's like
they are so good.
Just eating a Pop-Tart. So.
Yeah. Do you want to get this next one? Because I feel like you're the PB&J.
Yeah, sure. This one I think was almost kind of going to be in the runnings for us to make this week, but we ended up going with the tart instead. At the 50s Primetime Cafe, there is the PB&J milkshake, which if the name isn't enticing enough, all you need to know is it's basically just vanilla ice cream with peanut butter and jelly blended up. And how does it get better than that? Yeah. I'm like a diehard PB&J fan, and I've always made this but without the jelly. Like for some reason it's been jelly, I don't know why I've never done it. Like how perfect is that combo? Yeah. But my family has always made shakes that are just vanilla ice cream and peanut butter just mixed all together, and it is like one of the best things you will ever try. So I bet with jelly it is like even better. So
this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to try it. Maybe we'll make it for the show one of these upcoming weeks. But
yeah, for sure.
Sounds delicious.
Last up on our list here. And by the way, we might obviously miss some of your favorites. And sorry about that if we do. These are just the ones that kind of stood out to us. But the Trolley Car Cafe, they have a carrot cake cookie that's apparently pretty big. I mean, it's like it's not like, carrot cake slices, but like a little round carrot cake on the top and on the bottom, and in between is like a sweet cream cheese frosting, which sounds amazing.
Sounds great.
And yeah, I heard this is one that you could definitely share. So something that we have to try next time for sure.
We have a lot that we have to try next time.
Oh, apparently. For sure.
Next, we're going to go to Animal Kingdom for some snacks. So Mr. Kamal's has been, I think, a favorite snack spot, and we actually couldn't find it on the site. Yeah. You might need to explain.
Yeah, I was trying to
doing the research.
Yeah. I was looking at everyone's favorite snacks, and I remember seeing these when we were in the park in 2018, but on the site I couldn't find Mr. Kamal's for some weird reason. But there's these seasoned fries that you could get there, and apparently they're seasoned so well and like so different than what you would expect. So it is a fan favorite here, and they usually like pair it with a side of saffron aioli, honey kimchi ketchup, and tandoori honey mustard. And I just heard they're really, really good. And I'm sure it's still there, but I don't know why it's not on the site. But hopefully, if you find Mr. Kamal's while you're over there, definitely get the seasoned fries because I've heard a lot about that.
Yeah, those sound really, really good. I hope it's still there. That would be really sad if it just was gone out of nowhere.
Oh, strange.
No warning.
So weird.
But next up, we're going to talk about Flame Tree Barbecue, which has the baked mac and cheese with pulled pork, and it is topped with onion rings.
Guys,
oh
we
my
are
gosh.
huge mac and cheese fans.
We are massive mac and cheese fans, in case that wasn't abundantly clear already. Those sound so good.
And everyone loves Flame Tree that we've talked to.
Sounds delicious. Yeah. And this was also kind of in the runnings for us to make this week, so that may also be another one that we do soon. It's been such a drought for snacks on this show. I think we need to just like make a whole bunch of snacks now because there's a lot that we've missed.
Yeah, there's a lot of snacks that we have not actually had in the parks, but have just heard great things about.
Yeah.
So to actually taste them in our home would be amazing. So we got to make that. Huge mac and cheese fans. We do have to use our pressure cooker for the pulled pork, so that takes a little bit more.
Or we could just make it with pre-made pulled pork. You can do that.
We could cheat.
I think Trader Joe's has that, and Trader Joe's has everything. So maybe we can just
I'm down
a little bit.
I'm down. So our last up that we have here is at the Satuli Canteen in Pandora. We love the bowls that you can make here, but that's more of a meal.
Really good.
So for a snack, we got the bowls there, so we did not actually try this, but heard great things about it. It's a steamed cheeseburger pod, so almost looks like a bao bun, but it's like a steamed pod, that you've had before, obviously. But it has cheeseburger like fillings inside, so like ground beef, mustard, pickle, like all that good stuff. And we have made like the spring rolls before from Magic Kingdom. Sounds like that, but just like softer and amazing. And so that would be one. We do need a steam, what's it called? Like a steam basket if we want to make this. So hopefully we could get one and make this because that sounds incredible.
That would be really good to make if we could get the correct utensils for that.
Yeah.
I would be super down to make that.
Definitely.
Because the spring rolls are some of the best. Yeah. We're going to talk about that later. But moving on to Magic Kingdom. This is our last park to talk about.
Yeah.
And we've got some great snacks here. So the Cheshire Cafe is found in Fantasyland in Magic Kingdom. And a favorite snack that we have heard so much about and also have not tried yet is the Cheshire Cattail, which is like a pastry, like a flaky pastry filled with chocolate and drizzled with an icing.
Honestly, it kind of sounds like oat made.
Kind of sounds like this.
It's more colorful. It's like purple.
Yeah, like there might be some other flavors, but it's probably like a puff pastry type situation.
Yeah.
And some extra flavors. But sounds great. And I know that this is a favorite among a lot of people. Great little sweet snack. So check it out.
Yeah. Next up, we have Gaston's Tavern in Fantasyland as well. Heard really good things about the cinnamon roll here. I heard it's pretty huge. And I heard that you could actually ask for extra icing free of charge. So if they don't give you enough, just be like, yo, give me that extra icing. And then just indulge, a perfect way to just fuel up for the next half of your day.
Yeah,
but
totally.
I've heard
we wouldn't weigh you down at all.
Yeah, exactly. I heard it's like as big as Gaston's biceps. So I just made that up, but I'm sure they're pretty big. If it's from Gaston's Tavern,
must be good.
You have to expect it's pretty hefty. So anyways.
Something else I would love to try and make sometime. We have.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
You've never seen it before. We have this like Disney cookbook. What is it called?
It's the unofficial Disney Parks cookbook.
I think we actually gave it out during.
We did the drink one.
Are you
we
sure?
gave out the drink. Maybe it was.
I thought it was a snack one or the food. I can't remember, but one of the two books we gave away during a giveaway.
Yeah.
But it has so many recipes for Disney snacks.
Yeah.
And it is like so handy to have. And I saw the cinnamon roll in there while we were checking it out recently.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I want to try and make these.
Oh, and the next one is on that too.
Yeah. A lot of these are, like most of them. But yeah, the loaded buffalo chicken tots from Friar's Nook, which I'm assuming would also be in Fantasyland. Yet another one that we talked about making. So another one that might be coming up. but they look so good. I'm personally not the hugest blue cheese fan, and there's a lot of blue cheese going on in this snack. So if we do make it, I may make my own little version that is not including the blue cheese portion, but they still look super good. I mean, I've had it on the side
and then just do a little
It's just, it freaks me out that it's like mold. I can't.
It's not mold.
It is mold.
It's just old
blue mold.
cheese.
Moldy old cheese.
Aged to perfection.
No. You'll never convince me. I'm sorry. Can't do it. I'll be doing ranch or something on mine. But
it's like wine.
No,
it ages.
It's not though. It's so not. Anyways, it's tater tots with I think like pulled chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, flavored with buffalo sauce. So delicious. And yeah, lots of that cheese and I think like celery or something. So it looks pretty tasty. Looks like a good snack. Probably a good like shareable snack.
Yeah.
Definitely one we'll have to give a shot soon.
Yeah. Next up we have Casey's Corner now. They have the corn dog nuggets at Casey's Corner. I've always been a fan of those corn dog nuggets, and Disney just does corn dogs so well. So these sound amazing. One thing that we did have over there was the cheese fries, Disney style. Oh yeah, it is the mac and cheese. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And bacon bits.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
These are delicious. So good. Though, okay, we made them also on the show at one point. They were
and this is an easy thing. All you have to do is get mac and cheese, like frozen mac and cheese. If you want frozen French fries, bacon bits, and just
so easy.
That's like 5 minutes right there.
I mean, like
Bam.
if you want to go all like crazy
you
and
gourmet
make it all yourself, that is fine too. But I think I just got stuff at Target. I got some like frozen French fries and some like pre-made mac and cheese just put on top. Tasted exactly like it if I recall. It was delicious. I think we ended up making it for like my birthday gathering, like get together later that year with some other stuff too, but so good.
So amazing.
But the corn dog nuggets as well.
Yeah.
Are supposed to be really great from there.
Yeah.
So next we have the Nutella waffle from Sleepy Hollow. We made that actually pretty recently on the show.
Yeah, maybe like a month.
Couple months. It was a couple months ago for sure. But so delicious.
Oh.
Yeah, it's literally just a waffle folded in half like a taco with Nutella and fresh fruit. So simple to make and so good. Oh my gosh, that was like one of my favorite snacks. It's like a great dessert snack.
But you could do, if you want something more like savory, they do have the sweet and spicy chicken waffle as well.
That sounds great.
Waffle sandwich with fried chicken in there as well, which sounds really good. We haven't tried that one, but we did try the fresh fruit one, and so amazing.
So good. So good.
Yeah. And last up on our list, we could talk about this together at the Adventureland Egg Roll Wagon. The spring rolls. Yeah. So they have I think I forgot which ones it is, but one of these isn't there all the time or wasn't there for a while. But we've had the pizza spring roll there and the cheeseburger spring roll. We've made both of those on our show, and those are our favorite Disney snacks.
They are so good.
Mixing a spring roll that's just so flaky and like delicious,
crunchy,
and doing like either pizza or cheeseburger in it, it blends so well. Oh my gosh,
I can't even explain how delicious they are, and they're pretty easy to make. I think the pizza one was a little bit easier, but if you want to try to make them at home, we have made a reel for both of those on the show. If you want to go on our Instagram, those are some favorite snacks. Oh my gosh, I know that they have other flavors as well. I think there's like a cheese steak.
Yeah, there's like a Philly cheesesteak,
and like a buffalo chicken one, I think, as well. But they do rotate out flavors. I don't know that they're all there at the same time. Probably not. You just kind of have to check. It's probably seasonal or something. But when we were there, we did have the cheeseburger one. So good. And then I think, you know what? In California, Adventure during Food and Wine is where we tried the pizza version. It was at one of the Food and Wine booths.
Yeah.
And that one is so good as
It's
well.
amazing.
And yeah, so we had to make each different version on the show.
Yeah.
Some of the favorite snacks for sure. Like, I just can't even explain how good they are.
Yeah.
They're perfect.
So good. Well, anyways, that concludes our list. We would love to hear what your favorite snacks are. So if we missed your favorite
likely
snacks,
missed some of the favorites because this was a big task to undertake with all the parks and all the parks within the parks to like pick snacks from. There's just so much.
There's so much. If we said your favorite, let us know below. If we missed your favorite, let us know below. If you're listening on YouTube, if you're listening on a podcasting platform, hit us up on Instagram. We would love to talk to you. Just DM us and we talk favorite Disney snacks. It'd be great. And let us know if there's a snack or drink that you would like us to make on our show. And we could definitely do that. And you guys could see how we make it. And it'd be just a great time. But thank you guys so much for listening to our show. It means so much. If you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening on a podcasting platform, please subscribe to us on YouTube. It really helps us out a lot. If you're listening on a podcasting platform, definitely go ahead and follow us and rate us if you want as well. 5 stars really definitely helps our show out a lot. We've been having a great time just chatting and making connections within the Disney community. So we're just so thankful for all of you. But with that, we will see you guys next week. Thanks again.
See you next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.